Hey, what's up guys, it's Assassin here, welcome back to another episode of Dirty Bomb. So this is going to be the follow-up video of the previous video, which was the weapon mastery for the Empire-9. In this video I'm going to discuss all of my findings and kind of review the gun. So first of all I want to say that it wasn't as bad as I initially thought it was going to be. It was actually, at times, quite a lot of fun. Of course, at other times, it was really frustrating because this thing is a BB gun. It doesn't do any damage whatsoever. So the first thing I started doing with the Empire-9, which I don't really do with other guns too often, and that is stop firing whilst you're shooting at the enemy. So if the enemy is jumping around, and we know that in Dirty Bomb pretty much everybody jumps around all the time. And what I would do is just stop firing, kind of wait until they, stop jumping and then start firing again, because the magazine is only 35 and with the rate of fire of almost 860, you run out of ammo really quick. So you kind of have to stop firing if you know you're just not going to hit the bullets anyways. And that helped me out actually quite a bit. So, of course, with the Empire-9, you only have the choice between Sparks and Fletcher, because those are the only two mercs currently that have access to the Empire-9. So with this limited choice of mercs, I chose Sparks for the vast majority of this quote-unquote challenge. And I will have to say, I actually fell in love with Sparks. Damn, is he a lot of fun. Probably the most fun medic to play. I know, for me personally, I'm just better with Aura, but Sparks is definitely a lot more fun and requires much more skill to actually do well with her. And I do know the way you're supposed to play Sparks is probably use the revive gun all the time. Now, of course, since my goal was to get 500 kills with the Empire-9, that wasn't really an option for me. Especially in the beginning, I used the revive gun way too much. And I didn't really get many kills with the Empire-9, so it would have taken me maybe 100 games to get actually like 500 kills with the Empire-9. So after a while I pretty much stopped using the revive gun to get kills, only use it as a revive gun and just get all of my kills with the Empire-9 or the cricket bat, because I actually got a shit ton of kills with the cricket bat as well. I also used Fletcher for a bit and I pretty much stuck with the A31, in particular the Gen 1 card, though I think those are the same for both Gen 1 and 2, but it does have double time, which is actually on the Empire-9 I found to be really useful, because you can shoot your magazine empty and just run away, and of course reload while sprinting, which is really good in my opinion. A lot of people don't really use this because they want to reload cancel, which is a little bit harder with double time because you can't sprint to cancel the reload. Though I think there is an option in settings that might allow you to do that. I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyways, I thought the double time perk was actually really good for the Empire-9. Especially because it has such a short reload time of just 1.7 seconds. And speaking of the reload time, you can reload cancel it way before the animation is done. Like, the animation is almost twice as long as the actual reload. At first this was really hard and I thought, what the hell, why is this taking so long? But it turned out that like after, like I said, 1.7 seconds the reload is done, but the animation will still continue for like 1 or 2 seconds. Especially this gun, I noticed, is really great to reload cancel. I know all guns are great to reload cancel obviously, but this one gains a shit ton of time by doing it. And especially at first, when I didn't really do this, I really hated the gun. But when I started to reload cancel and started paying attention to when the weapon was actually reloaded, it was much better and a lot more fun to use. And with Fletcher I did also a pretty cheap tactic, which I also did in the video, the live one. And that is just to throw the sticky bombs to the enemy, kind of soften them up and then finish them with the Empire-9. That was actually a surprisingly successful tactic, which definitely gained me a lot of kills with the Empire-9, despite only doing like 2-3 bullets of damage. The rest was basically because of the explosives. Now, in the beginning of the video I said this is a BB gun, and it definitely is. I mean, the body shot damage is 8 and the headshot damage is 16. So probably the best thing you can do with this gun is get up close, face to face with your enemy and just maximize that range, because the range drop off is just severe with this gun. It's really bad. And to give you an example, for instance, the magazine will do, so if you hit all of the bullets, which is pretty much impossible, you will do between 280 and 560 damage, if you get headshots or body shots. Which you would say on paper, well, that's enough to kill 2-3 mercs easily. Well, in reality, my accuracy is pretty low. I know that a lot of people will have much higher accuracies. but you will still miss a lot because of the view kick and because this thing just shoots so ridiculously fast. So to compare it to the M4, which has also a magazine count of 35 rounds, that gun does between 490 and 980 damage, almost double. And yes, it has of course a much slower fire rate, but the damage is more than double and the fire rate is actually not less than half. So you are just better off, of course, obviously, using the M4. I really wanted to mention this because it puts into perspective at what a disadvantage you are using the Empire-9. Obviously this gun isn't really meant as a primary. I mean, Fletcher has access to it as a secondary, and Sparks, let's be honest, it's probably also a secondary, even though it is technically a primary. Pretty much everyone is going to use the revive gun as a primary, which is just much more powerful if you do get the hang of it. So after using this gun for about 200 kills, I was totally done with this gun. I didn't want to touch it, I didn't want to use it. I kinda had to because I still had 300 kills left. So I carried myself on with the next 300 kills, which took just forever. I mean, I don't know how many games I played, but it was a lot. So like I mentioned earlier, my accuracy is pretty bad, I know that. My sensitivity is way too high, I should lower that, and my tracking is just pretty shit. So for me personally, at one point I was just like, one magazine will be one kill. I did get a few double kills, not too often, because getting a double kill with the Empire-9, it's pretty hard, especially if you are like more than 5 meters away. Then the range is just really bad, the damage will be like ridiculously low. Getting the double kills is pretty difficult, especially if the enemies are full health. But there are also a few good things about this weapon. And that's of course the insanely fast reload time and the ridiculously fast fire rate of 858. Which I believe might be the highest in the game, I'm not 100% sure. But in return you also get pretty much the lowest damage per bullet in the game of any of the weapons. So in conclusion, I will say it wasn't as bad as I initially thought it was going to be. At times I had a lot of fun. It was also sometimes really frustrating, especially on the bigger maps, for instance Dome. If you're attacking, you really need to flank and get up close and personal, maximize that range. And probably the biggest hurdle was just the insane amount of time it took to get those 500 kills. So that was the first weapon of the Weapon Mastery series. Next one, I'm not going to spoil it right now. I already have started it and it's going to be 5 times worse than the Empire-9. But anyways, thanks for watching. Do let me know what you think about the Empire-9. Have you used it? Do you think it's good? Do you like it? All those kinds of things. I know if you have a really good accuracy, it's probably really good. But then again, just picking the Hugfer is just literally better in every single way. Please leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.